you tell me a bit about who you are and kind of what you started here, and go from there?
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
So my name's Libby Sturrus, and this is the Community Wellness building that we're in. And the space that we're in is Gather Botanicals,
Okay.
Which is one of the businesses in the building. We have 9 independent businesses
Wow.
in the building.
Okay.
So we all have our autonomy, but we
Sure.
try to work together also as
Cool.
a wellness community.
Okay.
This beautiful space that we're in right now is Gather Botanicals. Aubrey
Okay.
is the owner. She does an organic skincare line.
Okay.
Where she ethically forages the ingredients for it. Anything she can't forage, she
Sure.
will source from local
Okay.
Organic herb farms.
Mhm.
And if she can't get it locally, she'll get it from another organic herb farm.
Okay.
So she kind of what you put on your body is just as important as what you put
Sure.
in your body.
Yep.
And so that was a really good fit for the space because we also have 5 massage therapists,
Okay.
2 Reiki practitioners, a sound healer,
Okay.
an herbalist,
Okay.
and 2 yogis.
Okay.
Now that's
Wow.
more than 9 if you add that up, because
Sure.
some people do more than one
Yeah.
thing.
Sure.
And so we try to create kind of a one-stop shop for somebody who's looking to take better care of themselves.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, that's really cool. I feel like that's how things are trending now. You know, people are looking for the community aspect, you know, when it comes to our health and wellness. It's very segmented in the healthcare system, which is efficient in a way where you can keep everything on tabs, but, you know, quality of life and that kind of thing isn't very efficient. You know, there's a lot that goes into all of that. So,
yeah, that's true.
what why did you how did you come about starting this concept? Like,
well, a lot of wellness practitioners are solo practitioners.
Sure.
And it can be kind of lonely.
Yep.
You know, working
that.
for yourself.
Yep.
And so I wanted to work with other practitioners and have a community, but I didn't want to be anyone's boss.
Okay.
I think when you are your own boss, you know, you have ownership, you have a certain, there's a different mentality that you bring.
Yep.
And I wanted to encourage other people
Yeah.
who are doing the same thing.
Sure.
And so this was kind of the format that evolved from that. But I was working in corporate America for several years.
Okay.
And kind of got to a point where my health wasn't great in my 30s. So I decided, like, I need to do something about this, and kind of took a pause. And I made a list of everything that brought me joy.
Okay.
And some of those things included tea,
Mhm.
yoga, massage.
Yep.
And I've always had an interest in herbalism.
Okay.
And so I got certified to teach yoga.
Mhm.
I did the internship at Herb Farm in Oregon to learn about herbs and traditional Western herbalism.
Sure.
And then I went to massage school and became a massage therapist. And I decided, like, how can I combine all these things? I knew I didn't want to do all of those things, but I wanted to bring people together who did. And so that's how this place started. And I also just realized, like, how working in our modern life, like how little we take care of our needs, our own needs.
Sure.
And if I had been taking better care of myself, then I probably wouldn't have gotten to the burnout, you know, that I reached.
Sure.
So.
And I feel like too, you're so focused on, you know, all of the things that you have to do in a day's time. You don't ever have time to learn about what's in a lot of the products, as you said earlier on. You know, the more natural type objects, right? Like, we put sunscreen on, we put hair gel, all the things we put on our bodies that our skin absorbs naturally anyways. So but we don't have time to look at the labels or know what's in it, and if that's what we want or not. At the end of the day, we all have a choice. We may think that that is or is not something we need to worry about.
Yes.
But the time to actually learn it and know where to go is tough.
It is nice that you can buy something from a local maker who has used plants that grow in our own state.
Sure.
Like, you know, also any makeup that Aubrey makes, she makes a couple things, like a lip tint I actually have on right now. And it can be used on your cheeks too, but it's makeup, but it's also good for your skin. So she doesn't make anything that's going on you that's not also good for you.
Sure.
So she's got really high standards. You could like eat her products.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
natural,
there's nothing in it that's going to.
Sure.
I wouldn't recommend eating them, but
might not be good for the gut.
Right.
Okay. So, and is that is there something to that, or maybe we have to ask her in regards to like if everything's, because I've heard of people where they move to a different state and all of a sudden they get a lot of allergies because they're not used to the environment in that state. So is that also beneficial?
Absolutely. If you live in this state, you know, we also have like one of our massage therapists has her own apiary, which is like a beekeeping business. And so when you use her honey, like from Belmont, like you were getting all of those tiny little pieces of pollen in the honey, and it's like helping you basically build immunity to or have less of a histamine response to things that are blooming in your area.
Well, I heard someone say that changes the flavor profile of honey depending on where the honey was like harvested based on like the property.
Oh, it's so interesting.
Which is really cool.
She's got a ton of pine trees near her and a lot of tall grasses. And so my sister lives in Oregon, and I brought her some of this honey, and I tasted it, and she tasted it. I said, "Tell me what you taste." And she's like, "This is gonna sound weird, but like grass." And I'm like, "That's totally what's in it. What, you know, there's pollen in there." So it's kind of neat.
So then does everyone share the space, or, you know, does everyone have their own room? Like if there's that many people in the building, like do they share clients? How does all that work?
Okay. So great question. We have 4 treatment rooms, and they're shared because as a massage therapist or Reiki practitioner, you can't do 40 hours a week. So it's kind of like the person you're sharing with works the hours that you're not working. So like I'll work like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Ashley, who I share my room with, will work like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, you know, that kind of thing. We do have our separate clients, but we are not competitive with one another. We're collaborative. So instead of like trying to be possessive of our clients, we want people to feel like they can see anybody, and whoever is the right fit for them. Like we encourage that. And actually right now we have a special going on where you get like 10% off of your appointment for each massage or Reiki practitioner that you see, and you get a little punch card. The card, just kind of fun. Collect us all.
That's fun.
So that people are loyal with, and just naturally, like if you go see someone for massage, it's a very like vulnerable experience the first time, and so you just might feel comfortable with that person. But what if, you know, that person's on vacation, or they're sick, or they're booked out 3 weeks, and you woke up and you have a crick in your neck, and you want to see someone today. If you've seen everybody in the building at least once, it's, you know, you've already kind of broken the ice. You're not like, oh, I don't know if I want to try somebody new. You've already tried somebody new, and you got a discount. So we try to do things like that.
It is amazing how much effort it takes for people to take action in their own health, especially if they don't know somebody. It just won't happen. It's very vulnerable position for them to do it. So it's cool that you kind of create the opportunity where they can work with different people.
We try to, you know, cross promote and help each other's businesses grow, and help everyone here to feel comfortable and welcome. But I also think when you are trying to take care of yourself, something like massage is a really nice first step. Because all you have to do is show up, and then like we take it from there. And when you are doing like yoga, obviously it's also wonderful, but it's very active. But, you know, if you start with massage as that first domino, you start feeling better. It's easier to do better out in the world. You start feeling better, and then you start wanting to do more things that make you feel good. And yoga will extend the results of your massage 3 or 4 days. Like it's amazing, you know. Or if you do yoga before you go to your massage, you're already like your muscles are already warmed up. They're loose. You know, we don't have to do all of that preliminary warming up to get into the problem areas. And so really it all works together. But if you're like, gosh, it just sounds like so much work to have to start changing my life, like just show up and lay down.
You know? No, because that's the hardest thing I struggle with as a physical therapist. It's like someone's like, wait, I'm gonna have to put work in. I'm like, But a lot of people, you know, I always ask people the question, like, how much do you budget for your health a month? Like, just like how much do you budget, like, for your car, for your food, those kinds of things? And they're like, well, I have health insurance. Like, well, no, like that's for catastrophic incidences, right? Or, you know, I go to the gym. It's like, do we go to the gym, right? How much do we, you know? And some people can budget more, some less. But I'm a huge believer in like massage, yoga, meditation. You know, when we get somebody really feeling better, now what are you going to do to keep it?
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be exercises. It can be a lot of different things.
Yes, it can.
That you might pivot where you're like, I'm really bored of going to the gym. I need a break. Okay, try yoga, try Pilates, try something else.
Yeah.
Get some hands-on TLC, like so.
Or even something that maybe you've never even heard of before, like sound healing.
Sure. It's
so fascinating. I'm just learning more about it from Aaron, who's our sound healer here. Different frequencies affect different parts of your body. Okay. So apparently there's like a crystal bowl set that affects only the endocrine system. I had no idea it was that specific. Sure. And it's really neat to see that be a part of it. And it sounds woo-woo, but the person who is our sound healer is also an MD. Okay. So she has science-backed research to support the new modalities that she's trying. Yeah. And so it's just something that people are afraid to try new things like Reiki or sound healing because they sound kind of far out and unusual. But think about like yoga 10, 15 years ago. Sure. Everybody thought that was crazy. Yeah. And now it's just like commonplace. Like a lot of people know yoga and feel comfortable with yoga.
And I think that's the thing too, is at the end of the day, I've always taken the stance as a try it. If it works, awesome. Like you don't have to know why sometimes. Like if it works, that's great. Yeah. And I think sometimes it's just the more you know, and the more you can make the educated guess of like, you know what, that does sound interesting. Yeah. I've done a little digging. I know it exists. Let me go try it. Maybe it's not for you. That's okay.
Like, that is. That's the thing. Like it doesn't hurt to try.
Sure. So. But I mean, that's like, if you think about like, even just meditating at home, a lot of time people put on like trickling water or like some sort of sound. And then, that's different obviously than what they're doing, I'm sure. But like those components, 5 senses, like it all comes into play to, calm us down, change our fight or flight kind of like how we're feeling, our stress levels, which can all help with.
Yeah. Reducing that cortisol, increasing the happiness hormones. Sure. Yeah. Any of that is going to be helpful. And just the movement is so important too, just because if you think about the daily things that we do, looking at our phone, driving, being on the computer, everything is compressing in like this. Sure. So if you could do something to open up, whether that's yoga, massage, it's going to help.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is still recording.
I don't know. It's been like that for a while.
It's still recording. We're good.
Okay.
Yep. That'll be fine. Little message, but we're good. Okay. That was kind of my next question was, you have all these different experts and people here doing different things. Do you guys like do events? Like how does it come into the community and that kind of thing?
We try to do a couple collective events a year, but actually Gather Botanicals has events every weekend. Okay. And they're either wellness or nature or art related. Okay. So we actually have our neighbor down the street, Earthbound Ceramics. Okay. So Aubrey is collaborating with them, and she's doing like a tea blending workshop, and they're making the mugs and the infusers. Okay. So we try to extend our community outside of the doors, of this building as well. Okay. Cool. So,
and that obviously lowers the barrier for people to kind of come in and feel comfortable, because that's too, like I've even felt it before I got into PT school and did all the things. When I went to like a massage to a place I never knew, I'm like, am I in the right spot? Like, what do I expect? How does it work? But like, if you come to these events, it's lower barrier to entry in regards to saying, oh, hey, can you tell me more about that? Or, I want to learn more about this stuff, obviously. A lot of great stuff in here.
Thank you. Well, there is a free event the last Friday of every month. Okay. It's like a free herb class. It happens over the lunch hour. Okay. And people come in and learn about, like last month it was skullcap. Sure. So you got the chance to learn about what the herbal actions are of that herb and how you can take it. Yeah. And so Aaron was here and Aubrey, and they kind of taught the class together.
Sure.
So.
Now, does a lot of those classes also talk about like where you could get it yourself in the nature, like foraging, that kind of thing? Or
there are like herb walks that have been done in the past, but the herbs that we discuss on the free herb class can all be purchased in the store here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Okay. And she's, sourced them from local farms, local organic farms, or herself when it's, weather permitting.
Yeah. Okay. So. All right. Cool. Well, what's an ideal person for you to try to reach out to, like that somebody who's trying to get into this, or like who's your best clientele to kind of?
Well, I mean, anybody who wants to take better care of themselves.
Okay.
Anybody who's like, no matter where they are on their journey of wellness, if they've been like doing their food prep and they're feeling good and they just want to try something new like Reiki.
Yeah.
Or somebody who's like, I don't know where to begin. I'm overwhelmed. There's so much different information coming at me. Yeah. Like, just start with one thing. Sure. Start with one yoga class or one massage or one sound session or one Reiki session or one herbal class. Yeah. And just see what you can learn and how you feel. Okay. And we can go from there. Like, cool. It's very low pressure. I always tell my clients, like, I'm here regardless, like, sure. Like, I'm here when you're ready. Yeah. And so, yeah, I think that's who I would want to help anyone who's ready to start or to continue their wellness journey.
Awesome. Cool. Well, we'll definitely be coming to some of those events. I'm really interested in checking some of those out. I know my wife will be, for sure. So cool. But yeah, appreciate the time.
And, thank you.
Yeah. Looking forward to partnering in the future, maybe.
Me too.
Cool.